Things I stopped doing for attention. Oversharing on my close friend's story. I was definitely one of those people who would write a 500-word paragraph rambling about something and then post it on my story. Didn't drink regular coffee, only cappuccinos. And 99% of the time, it was something pointless as fuck. Like, why does everyone need to know about the color of my dog's poop on the pH scale? I eventually did stop because I just found inner peace and realized there's much more meaningful things that I could be posting online. And as ChatGPT says, honestly, that's growth. Next thing I stopped doing is using foundation shades that were way too light for me. When I first started makeup, I did a more Korean makeup look, also kind of like Chinese Douyin makeup. And one feature is that most people doing this kind of look were pretty pale and had a whiter skin tone. I remember thinking, wow, these girls are so gorgeous, and I still do. But as you can see, my skin is not as white as theirs, so what would happen is that my face and neck would be two completely different shades. Give me a pink wig and I would look like Neapolitan ice cream. But at the time, I thought paler skin meant I look better, so I just ignored the signs and kept using the shade everyone else had. But then I started trying more makeup looks and I realized, wait, I'm actually not chuzz, I just needed to find what suits me. And see, you guys, you'll notice that my attention seeking came from a place of wanting to belong. Sometimes we get so caught up in winning the attention of others that we forget to find out what actually makes us come alive. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter where you belong if you're not willing to accept yourself. That's a topic to dive in for next time. Okay, gotta go, my loves. Mwah.
Let's get ready for dinner, and I'm gonna do a story time of something that I remember that happened to me. Basically, I was with this guy, and let's call him Bob. And then a random day, I saw an Instagram DM from the super well-known person, and I was like so shocked, but I was with Bob at the time, so obviously I'm not gonna answer it. And then I call Bob and I'm like, oh, like this person DM'd me, like I just wanted to let you know. And then I end up seeing Bob a little later after I called him, and he asked to see the DM, and I'm like, yeah, like here. I wasn't showing Bob the DM, it was like the world had ended because I didn't respond. Bob was mad that I left this famous person undelivered and didn't respond. And Bob's like, why didn't you respond that you're with someone? And I'm like, I thought it was better to tell you and leave the famous person undelivered. What? Bob makes me send a DM back to this famous person. And Bob made me say, I'm with someone. But the worst part about this whole thing was that the DM said, oh, you're from New York. And I responded with, I'm with someone. I was not expecting the famous person to answer, but he most certainly did. And he said, good for you. Do you know how embarrassing that whole conversation was? Good for you. My makeup is done, and I just thought that was a funny story to share. Love you all.
2 years ago, I stopped lying to everybody and came out as a lesbian. There was always signs of me being gay as I was growing up, from having a major obsession to my kindergarten teacher to having a crush on every single one of my elementary school cheer coaches. Like, girl, is it obvious enough already? But then quarantine happened, and this was around 5th grade, and I woke up from a dream of me kissing Madison Bailey. I literally ran to my sister and I was like, I just had a dream that I kissed a girl, and I liked it. Katy Perry song who? And then from there, I went to 6th grade, and I had a crush on this girl, so I was like, okay, whatever, I'm bi. Because I thought I liked guys still too. I thought that was like the safe way out. I was like, you know what, I can say that I like guys too. I like girls and guys, so you can't come at me. Then once people started finding out, they were like getting skeptical. The homophobic people were coming through. So I was like, you know what? This like isn't for me. So then in 7th grade, I hid in the closet the entire year. I would go on 2-mans and 1-mans and go on all these dates to try to convince myself that I'm not gay, which just led to a lot of breaking boys' hearts because I was always like, you know what, I'm not feeling this, literally like the second day. So I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I literally don't like guys. I don't want to have a relationship with them. I get bored with them really fast and I don't even want to kiss them. So winter of 8th grade pulls around. I go to the Billie Eilish live at the O2 concert and I find this baddie ass girl and I'm like, I need that. So I was like, you know what, why don't we try dating a girl? Why don't we try going back to our old 6th grade ways, see if we're more comfortable with that. Long story short, I ended up talking to this girl and I loved it, and she ended things with me, and then I was completely heartbroken. So I was like, you know what? I'm not broken. I just don't like guys. I feel like people's coming out stories are always more traumatic, but mine's just low-key boring. I'm super grateful that everyone in my family supports me and loves me. So I can't really complain, but the lore between me trying to like guys when I'm actually gay is what's the most interesting story about this, I think. Coming out was the best part of my life because I literally have been able to be who I am and like who I like. And I don't gotta lie anymore.
Things my Chinese parents have caught me doing part 2. Watch part 1 for context. Oh, so good. Morning, guys. My first Get Ready With Me blew up, so here's another one. When I was in grade 3, my parents caught me crying while reading a book under my blankets. Basically, my teacher gave everyone this reading log for the entire year, and the more hours we got, the more prizes we could trade them for. Erasers, stickers, pens. By the way, as a film major, I love reading, so at the ripe age of 9, I made it my life's mission not only read the most hours, but also read all 365 days of the year. And it was actually going really well. Like, none of my streaks have ever been that good. Not my Duolingo streaks, not my Snapchat streaks. Until one day, my parents went to some relative's birthday party and I was forced to go. It had been a busy day at school, I haven't read yet, so I knew we had to get back before 12 a.m. for me to read something. When the party went on till 10 p.m., I got a little worried. And at 11 p.m., I was kind of hinting that, okay, we should head out now. When it was literally 12 a.m., I remember wanting to cry in the guest bathroom. Speaking of time, by the way, it's currently 5:30 a.m. My classes start at 8 and it takes me an hour and a half to get to school. But that's the life I chose, so no complaints. Guess when we got home from the party that day? 2:30 a.m. I was so upset, but my mom made me promise to not read and just go straight to bed. By the way, a follower asked for lip combo last time, and I used this, and this. Ta-da! Not sponsored, I just really like them. Going back to the story, no, of course I did not go straight to sleep. I had to finish my reading streak. I think that explains why I try so hard in school and in life. I really owe it to my younger self. Back then it was a more simple goal like reading every day, but now I feel like I have much bigger dreams that I for sure won't miss. And I hope you can stay to see them happen. Okay, gotta go to school now. Mwah!
In the shower. Okay, and then I asked my friend who just told me all of this to FaceTime me, and she's like, I can't right now. And I'm sitting here like, well, it's kind of important. I'm trying to get to the bottom of something. And then she sends me a paragraph telling me how like me and his drama isn't her drama and how it's like affecting her mentally. Mind you, I've never told her one single bad thing about my boyfriend. Okay, here's where it gets crazy. I'm not allowed to have Snapchat, just like I'm not allowed. And one of my friends texts me just like, why are there like locations together? So you mean to tell me that you asked me if I was with my boyfriend so that you could text him and be like, oh yeah, I will come over? Like, what? Basically, she was making sure that I wasn't with him, like playing around before she told him that she would come over. And now I've been sitting here trying to FaceTime my boyfriend or get my friend to call me, and neither one of them are answering. So obviously, I like went and woke my mom up, and she's taking me to go see what's going on. And our moms are like best friends, so he's literally gonna get in so much trouble. And my mom is friends with her mom, so a lot of craziness happening. Will I be sad tomorrow? Probably. For now, I'm just going to laugh at this whole thing.
Story time about how these random teenagers follow me around in a store and were recording me and laughing at my takes. I believe I was just shopping for decor attention. Hi, like, hey, listen, like normal. Let's go. And everything was like pretty fine. I'm shopping like normal, and then I start taking. So like I'm whistling, I'm cursing, like pretty much like the norm for my tics. Just like grabbing snacks. I just feel like somebody's watching me. I don't know exactly who's doing it, but like I can feel it. I can feel it in my nuggets. Ignore it. You're a vegetable. You're a vegetable. And I just continue on with what I'm doing until I hear like people laughing behind me. And like, you know, like that feeling when like you get that feeling you get. Shut up, bitch. When people are like laughing at you. Yeah, that's the feeling that I had. I get out that aisle because I feel creeped out. I'm like, who is laughing at me and why? So I go into the next aisle. The laughing follows me. I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. So I turn around and like, then they put their phones away. They're like, oh my god, we're sorry. And I'm like, the fuck? I asked them why they were recording me, and they just brushed it off. They were like, we weren't recording you. So I'm like, okay. And then I just go into the next chat. My name is Bobby. I like to party. If you don't believe me, want me to shake my butt. I go into the next aisle again. And then they're also still recording me. They just put their phones down for a second. If you know me, you know I don't like confrontation. So I just ended up leaving. But it was an all around like weird experience. And they were also like mocking my tics when I would walk away. And like I could tell I would like look back and they were like twitching their neck like this, like the way that I would do it. It was so weird. Like people really don't have human decency.
These are a few things my ex-boyfriend did and I still stayed with him. Extremely dumb bitch edition. When I found out that he was cheating on me, I was sitting in his car and I was on his phone and I went through his call log. And this call log was this girl I thought he was cheating on me with, and there was every single night he had a phone call with her for like 6+ hours. Like, hey, why are you on the phone with her for 6+ hours after you told me you're going to sleep? And he like screamed at me and he's like, her dad is abusing her, Sophia, and she needs somebody to talk to. And I was like, he was also a pathological liar, so I'm not sure if that was true. I think that they were just dating, because they did end up dating once we broke up. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't let me wear skinny jeans. Whenever we were around my best friend, for reference, my best friend is Jamaican with big, long, curly hair. She's beautiful. You would be like, oh my god, a girl like that is my type. Like, if I could date a girl, it would be a girl that looks like her. You are dating a girl, and it's me, and I don't look like her, so what's going on? He would also constantly compare me to his mother. For my birthday, my siblings threw me a surprise birthday party, and they invited him, obviously, and he straight up just said no and would not visit me on my birthday. Like, he did not want to make plans with me, did not come over, nothing. This doesn't really count as we were still together, but when he was breaking up with me, we were sitting in his car, I was in his passenger seat, and he looks at me. I don't even know what we were talking about, but he's like, oh yeah, I had sex with her in that seat, the girl he cheated on me with, the girl from previous, you guys remember? Yeah, we were talking, he's like, yeah, in that seat that you're sitting in right there, we had sex. I didn't need to know that, but thank you so much. Wait, this one's really funny. One time we were at his apartment building and we're walking to his apartment. He puts his hand on this door and he's like, oh my god, the girl I literally want to marry is in this room. And then he proceeded to yell at me because he's like, it's a joke. You take everything so serious. Looking back now, I know that he just genuinely didn't like me. I'm not sure why he dated me, but anyways, I have so many more, but I feel like TikTok will take it down, so that's all for now. He truly was the spawn of Satan.
A terrible date with another guy made me realize that I wanted to be with my husband. It makes me so uncomfortable. I'm gonna rewind. My husband and I had been talking for like about a month, but we hadn't actually gone on a date in person because we were doing long distance. It was kind of at the point where I was like, okay, I'm still gonna date around. Anyways, I get this DM from a guy. Honestly, the best part about it is his name, and it sounds like a movie character. My family and I still joke about his name. At the time, I was still living at my parents' house, which obviously meant that I got picked up from my front doorstep. My family's literally like in the kitchen when he knocks on the door. Of course, I like open the door this wide and I'm like sliding out and I'm like, hi! He grabs the door like this. He's like, oh my gosh, this is unreal. And he's like, I'm not gonna meet the fam. Sure, come on in. I should make up a fake name that is almost like his name. Both his first and last name started with the same letter, so it would be like Seth Silver. He full charges towards my dad. He goes, Seth Silver, nice to meet you. I'm like, it was just his presence that was giving sales. It was giving, this is gonna be the best night of your life and you don't even know it. I get it, like when you meet your date's parents, you want to be respectful, you want to be kind, but this was to like a whole new level. We go mini golfing. The first comment when we get in the car, so why is a beautiful girl like you still single? He's gonna find someone. He's gonna find his person, but it was not me, and I knew it at this point in the date. We're mini golfing. I'm like being nice, asking questions about sales, which I was freaking right. I knew it. I knew he did sales. There's a really old couple in front of us. Looks at me. He looks at the couple. He looks at me. He looks at the couple. That could be us one day. After mini golf, we go get frozen yogurt. He hits me with the, you and my mom would be best friends. What it felt like is that he thought he was the shit. He was top tier. I was lucky to be on a date with him. That's the vibes that I was getting. He goes, what are you doing tomorrow? Oh, it's the Bachelorette finale. I'm going over to my best friend's house and watching it with her. He goes, okay, I'll see you there. Oh, he He goes, no, actually, like, I'll see you there. He goes, yeah, I'm seeing you again tomorrow. I was like, if it's late, I'm just gonna go to bed. He's like, no, you're not. No, you're gonna go tomorrow and I'm gonna see you there. I'm very like type A. Like, I don't like being told what to do, especially from Seth Silver of all people. I'm like, wow, you are really confident. He's like, oh, I know you want to, you just don't know it yet. And then he keeps making jokes. He's like, you're one stubborn cookie. Drops me off. He's like, I'm gonna walk you to your doorstep. I'm like, thank you. It was great mini golfing. He's like, I'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, no, you won't. He's like, yes, I will. I was being so stubborn. I'm like, no, you won't. I don't like being told what to do. You're stubborn, and I like that about you. I go home that night, FaceTime my husband for like 2 hours. In that moment, I was like, I've been talking to this guy for a month. This is who I want to date. Someone who isn't pushy or overbearing or just lets me go at my pace. To that, I say, thank you, Seth Silver. And if you're going on bad dates, just know they are dates that you will tell your husband in the future. But I have to know, like, would you have done the same thing? I love you guys. Bye.
My boyfriend got my sister pregnant. Not just like my sister, my little sister. So me and my boyfriend broke up around 2 months ago because he just had family issues going on and says that he just needed a break and time for himself. We also both just felt like we weren't growing in the relationship together at all, so we just cut it off. For me to find out a month later, my sister is 4 months pregnant with his kid. One of my very close friends kept telling me that she had suspicions of my little sister and my boyfriend. And keep in mind, my boyfriend was 3 years older than my little sister, so I was like, no, that is not true. They would never do that. Girl, little did I know. And the reason why a lot of people were suspicious, because it wasn't just my close friend, there was a few of my other friends that were pretty suspicious. It was because my boyfriend and her would hang out quite a lot, and they would post like cute little selfies of them on Instagram and just TikTok videos and stuff like that. But I was like, oh, it's just my little sister, like he's just being friendly with her. There was a few times he canceled on me to hang out with my little sister instead. Exactly how I found out she was pregnant was through an Instagram story while I was on vacation with one of my friends. So no, he did not break up with me because of family issues. No, he broke up with me because my little sister is pregnant by him. Like, it was a literal maternity shoot. They both posted it, so I knew it was his. So I texted them, and they were like, yeah, we were gonna tell you when you got back from vacation. We just didn't know how. Why didn't you guys tell me 4 months ago? So I guess now he's a part of my family. But she's been staying at her house the past few days since I got back from vacation, but we're all going to dinner to talk about this. So wish me luck and tell me what I should say to them. Bye, guys. Get ready with me, but I'm going to tell you guys every single reason why I unfriended my ex-best friend of 10 years. We'll start off with the big ones. I caught her sleeping with my boyfriend. Number 2, anytime I told her I liked a guy, guess what she'd be doing? Snapping them the next day. Or even worse, she'd go and hang out with them. And then she would plan 2-mans, and I'd tell her which guy I liked, and guess who she'd get with and leave me with? The other guy that I didn't like. She'd get with the guy I liked. Took a video of me changing one time and sent it to my boyfriend at the time. Told one of my boyfriends at the time that I was gay, tried to kiss her and her. One time me, her, and another girl were all hanging out, and she followed me into the bathroom without me knowing and took a video of me showering like underneath my shower curtain. So you thought when she took a picture of me changing and sent it to my boyfriend at the time was bad? No, she leaked this around the whole school and blamed it on the other girl. The other girl literally ended up getting charges pressed on her because my parents pressed them, and she got in so much trouble for it, and it wasn't even her. And don't worry, guys, once we found out that it actually wasn't her, the charges weren't like completely gone through yet, so my parents went straight to the courthouse and dropped the charges. Oh my god, I cannot speak. There was multiple occasions that she did this to me. We would go and take Instagram pictures, and she would edit my body to look bigger than it actually was. Any single time I'd hang out with her and have money in my wallet, every single time the money would decrease and it would just go missing. Same thing with my clothes, same thing with my makeup, same things with my perfumes, hair products, literally everything. One time this girl literally put Nair in my shampoo, and luckily I caught her in the act. She was flabbergasted when I caught her. Like, she didn't even know what to say. Like, she literally called her mom and went home. Literally set me up to get jumped, brung me somewhere, and got me jumped. One time we were going to hang out with these guys, and I asked her if I could use some of her perfume, and she filled up a little perfume thing of fart spray. And obviously it smelled so bad, like she literally was gagging from it. And that was the only pair of clothes I brung because we were literally just going to hang out with guys and I was going home. She refused to let me change clothes, refused to let me wear any of her clothes, and I had to go with fart spray on me. I literally called my mom to come get me. I was fucking done. She told me that my fish was dead and flushed it in front of my face while it was literally still swimming. You're probably thinking like, oh, when she was doing all these crazy things, like, why didn't you stop being her friend a while ago? Oh, I tried. Every single time I tried, she threatened me. And the reason how and why we are no longer friends is because my parents literally had to get a restraining order on her so she'd leave me alone.
Okay, bye guys.
There are some just like insane things I did as a child, because I definitely am now realizing I didn't have like the most normal childhood. For one, locking grandma in the basement. I locked my grandma in the basement one time because I was home for school lunch and I was with my cousin and I had spilled soup everywhere, and I was just used to being like screamed at anytime I like spilled soup or like did something wrong. So I didn't want my grandmother to see it. So I locked her in the basement. I thought nothing was wrong with that. I said, lock grandma in the basement real quick. I was like, grandma, can you go check on something downstairs for me? Locked her in there and then tried vacuuming up the soup. Mind you, I was in like second grade and I kind of refused to let her out. Now being an adult, I do realize that is absolutely insane. But at the time, my cousin and I were like, no, this is like the best case scenario. Like, we have to lock grandma in the basement. Also, I was definitely a knife puller. I was pulling the knife on my sisters. As soon as I saw my oldest sister do it, I said, oh, this is fair game for everybody in the household. And I would say we didn't stop pulling knives on each other until, I mean, honest to God, did we ever stop? No, that was just another common thing in the household. When my oldest sister was sleeping, Sissy and I don't know why we thought this was like an amazing idea. I guess we were just like mad at her. We wanted revenge on something, but put eggs in her water while she was sleeping. So she would wake up and like drink egg yolks. We thought that was absolutely brilliant. Like, we had a little case that we would put eggs in. And then when it was like 2 a.m, we would sneak in there, crack them in her water. Yeah, no, that was pretty evil. As a child, I was like the resident snitch. My sister would get so annoyed because she would be like sneaking the car out and I'd be the first person to call my mom. Mom, Kaylee's taking the car out. Mom, Kaylee has the car. Kaylee's taking the car. It came to a point where my mom was like, okay, you actually need to stop snitching. Like, this is not okay. Like, just let them do what they're gonna do. They're teenagers and like you are too, but like you keep snitching and it's like, it's not gonna go well. Like, you can't live your life as a snitch. My mom was very clear about that. She was like, that you just like simply cannot keep doing that. Like, please stop snitching on everybody. But I was like resident snitch. Anytime my sister did, I was first calling my mother. Would never call my father in my lifetime because like he would beat the shit out of her. But like my mom was like, okay, stop snitching. Just like a couple crazy things that I did growing up. I don't even think they're that bad.
Easter show story time. I wanted to get all of our food, and one of them being the florist, but that was located in the Woolies Dome. And the Woolies Dome shut at 7 and it was 6:52. So me being the person I am, I rushed into the Woolies Dome and I placed my order like a minute before 7, okay? Then I'm waiting for my order and it's like 7:10, okay? And the security guards start walking around and they're just looking us down, but just leaving us. Keep this in mind, there's still a big crowd of people waiting for their food. They were up to like number 2 and I was number 18, so I was waiting a while. Then it was like 7:20 and the security guards go, you need to leave, get out, you need to leave. I'm sorry, but we've all placed orders, we're not going to wait. I've already waited for 20 minutes. I'm not going to leave now, like what the hell? And they're like, no, get out, get out. And the lady who's running the business was there and she went off at them. There was 3 workers there and then one of them who was the owner. She goes, it says legally in my contract I can keep taking orders up to 7. It's not my fault I've got a line at 6:30. Do you want me to stop making money and turn away customers? Like, she went up. And then what happened was there was a group of girls next to me, 7 girls. They looked to be about 15, 16, okay? And only one of them was getting it. And they go, well, are you guys all buying one? And they go, no, just our friend. And they go, then you guys all get out and your friend can wait here by herself. Keep this in mind, every single one of the doors was shut. The doors were locked. They locked us in. And they were like, we're not leaving a minor in here, like with men with the door shut. Now, these security guards started yelling, started screaming, said, well, you need to get out. And they were going back and forth the lady. Now, the lady stopped making the food. So the line was getting held up even more. And everyone's like, just make it, just make it. But she decided to start yelling back at him, which was obviously not the right call. And she was like, you can't tell me what to do. Like, she was going at him. Lucky, I just wanted to get out of there. I was with my sister and we'd already waited 20 minutes and I just wanted to get out of there. And then my food finally came and I left. But I think the last person to leave was like 7:40 and they like literally had to like kick them out. Like, it was so bad. So if anyone's trying to get florists at the Woolies Dome, please make sure you go before 6:30 because I went at like 6:45, 6:52 and there was such a long line and it gets so scary when they lock you in and they start yelling at you.
I just remembered this insane first date story with a guy that I almost dated, so get ready with me while I tell you about it. Okay, so my best friend was going to this dance, and I wanted to go, and she wanted me to go because she'd never met the guy that she was going with and needed some support. So obviously I was like, girl, I'm coming with you. So I got set up with this random guy. I'd only ever seen a photo of him, never talked to him, nothing. Basically, he gets my number and texts me and asks me what I want to drink for the night because we're gonna split a drink. And I replied and I told him that I wasn't picky, but I prefer apple juice. I thought he was gonna get apple juice. I pull up to the function later that night and I can't find him, and his friends were like, okay, I'll go find him for you, like, don't worry about it. At this point I'm kind of just like, you know what, you really don't actually need to do that. Long story short, I find him. He brought the most masculine drink known to man, aka tomato juice, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I've never had the tomato juice before, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a try, see if I like it. I hated it. It was disgusting, so I didn't drink it. In person, this guy was nice. He's pretty cute, low-key. I was vibing with it. We had a decent amount of stuff in common, but it was until later in the night when I realized that he drank the entire thing of tomato juice. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down, this is not good. I lose him. Yep, he's gone. He disappears, and I'm like, wow, where did he go? Basically 10 minutes go by, and I find him on the front porch, on a couch, with his eyes closed. He has drool all over. I like wake him up and I'm like, hey, like, are you okay? Do you need some help? And he was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. So I go find my best friend because I really just didn't want to take part in that. A couple minutes go by, I'm like, okay, I should probably go check on him again. I go to try and find him. I can't. And I go up to his friend, have you seen him? And he's like, oh yeah, we just stuck him in an Uber and sent him home. So I'm at this dance by myself, basically. My date just abandoned me. A little heads up would have been nice, but whatever. I end up going home to my place. Well, the next day, I get a text from him, basically apologizing, asking me if he can take me out to dinner that night. Okay, you know what? Maybe this is gonna take a turn. So I was like, okay, are you picking me up? What's the deal? And he was like, oh, no, I can't. I don't have a car. I have my car. Do you want me to pick you up? And he was like, sure. So I'm picking up my date to go to dinner. Yeah. We get to the place, we had dinner, it was fine, and he paid for my food. I ended up driving him home, dropping him off. Or maybe he's just had a bad night when we first met, like no big deal at all. So then the next day, he texts me and asks me if I want to come over to his place later and watch a movie. Netflix and chill on the second date? I don't know how I feel about that, but we're gonna go anyway. I have to drive myself over there later that night. We sit in the living room, and he's literally side by side with me on the couch, and I'm like, okay. Is this the vibe we're going for? I'm a little confused. I don't get it. So he puts on a horror movie, and I love me a good horror movie. But this is when it goes very far downhill. Yeah, come back for part 2.
When I tell you, top 5 most uncomfortable, weirdest moments I've had in my life happened in Miami last night because of my fucking Uber driver. I'm not even kidding you. Mind you, this was like a 5-minute ride. Like, I don't know where things went so horribly wrong. Katie and I, we were doing drinks on a rooftop, and then we had to go home, and we were going to change right before we went out and we went dancing. Get in the Uber, he's like, you girls look beautiful. Like, you look amazing. What's the plan for the night? And we're like, oh, like, we're going dancing in Wynwood, whatever. We're like, that was our plan. We're going dancing. We're going to Wynwood. He was like, oh my God, I'll stop driving right now and I'll drive you guys to Wynwood. Like, no, because we don't want a random man who we met 2 seconds ago driving us to, like, we don't want that, like, cool free Uber. But no, the last thing I want is to be in a car with like a random ass man. We're like, oh no, it's gonna like take us a while upstairs. Like, we're getting ready. Like, we're kind of just, we're telling him no a million times. But Katie and I talked about this. It's like, there's only so far in so many ways I can say no to a man where I don't feel uncomfortable in his car. He's driving me. How many times can I say no and he's not getting the hint? I feel like I knew it was gonna be an issue when instead of like just pulling up in front of our hotel, he decided to, what was it, like parallel park? He parallel parked in front of our hotel. And we were just, and he was like, okay, like, I'll wait for you down here. And we're like, no, like, you really don't have to do that. We're going to be so long. We don't want to do that. I need to let you guys, like, we said no, specifically Katie, at least 5 times, No, you don't have to. No, we don't want to do that. No, it's okay. No, this bitch did not care. He literally did not care. We're upstairs in the room for like 30 minutes. It had to be like 30 minutes, if not more. The last thing I'm thinking is like, oh, this man's still down there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the last thing I'm thinking. But so we get down to the lobby and I'm like, okay, wait, do we think we called a completely different lift? I was like, do we think we see him? Like, and I was like, I think I see like his car. And Katie and I are like, no, like, that's frightening. I was like, we just have to run into the Uber. Like, we just have to run into the Uber. You guys, I was like, he won't see us. We get out, we look, he goes, girls, where are you going? He's laying on the windshield of his car. This man is laying on the windshield of his car, arms behind his head. Girls, where are you going? Where are you going? What do you mean, where are we going? Katie and I were talking about this. I'm very flight. A fight or flight, I'm very flight. I threw myself into like the new Uber. I was like, no, like we just have to go into the new Uber kind of thing. Katie just stood there in the middle of the road and was like, no, man will ruin your night. Like, he just went out of the way. We were frightened. He knew where we were staying. He knew where we were going dancing. He knew all these things. And it just, are all Miami Uber drivers like this?
Day in a life with your boyfriend from hell, except I actually lived it. So your boyfriend's unemployed and a low-life loser and does nothing with his life. And you've been waiting all day and all night for him to text you. And the first lovely text you get from him is, "Good morning, you fat, ugly." Of course, your stupid self just says your normal "good morning, I love you." And then you proceed to get a no caller ID phone call. So you pick up and it's a few girls and they're talking about your boyfriend, telling you how they hung out with him last night and all this and that. Your boyfriend is a dealer and last night he told you he was going on a few runs and then stopping at a friend's house afterwards, but you had never met his friend before is what he told you. Little did you know he was actually on a 3-man with these 3 girls calling you. And you guys call every single night to say goodnight and you were going to bed and you called him to say goodnight and he didn't pick up, but you didn't think anything of it because he was hanging out with his friends, so you just went back to sleep. But little did you know, not back to sleep, to sleep. Little did you know while you were calling him, he was getting... And guess who he was? It was your best friend. And your best friend wasn't even the one to tell you. She had her friends call you and tell you. It's not like, oh, she didn't know that he was my boyfriend. No, because she's my best friend. I obviously talk about my boyfriend to my best friend. So I asked like who it was and they're like, oh, like we can't tell you. And I was like, no, tell me, because I'm not going to accuse him if you guys can't tell me who it is. And so then they finally tell me, like, I finally got it out of them, and I was so convinced that, like, this was not true. My best friend would never do this, so I immediately hung up and went and called her and was like, these girls are accusing you of this. And she goes, I'm just gonna be honest with you, Sarah, like, it is the truth, like, it did happen. I just didn't know how to tell you. We've been talking for a couple weeks. So I blocked them both. My boyfriend's over here begging me to unblock him and get back with him and that he's so sorry. My best friend's blowing up my phone on a text now number, apologizing. And I was a little delusional at the time, okay? So I did get back with the boyfriend because he was like, she threw herself on me. She was the one texting me for months, blah, 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 blah. So I trusted him and got back with him. And that was the worst idea of my life because so much more came and he cheated on me so many more times. Anyways, let me know if you guys want to hear more story times. Bye.
I started getting ready about how dare me because I just remembered a story time that I haven't shared yet and I really need to talk about. We're going to talk about the first time that I ever went to a party and the first time I ever, Let me just paint the picture. I was 15, like freshly turning 16 in like literally a span of a few days. Sister and I's birthdays are 4 days apart. And at the time she is at U of O and I was still in high school. I went to Eugene to visit her at school, celebrate both of our birthdays. And now, okay, listen, my sister never goes out. Like, I'm pretty sure the only times that she's ever even gone out or because I've asked her to come with me or something. And while I'm realizing this is kind of making me sound like a crazy partier, I promise you I don't go out. Not very often, at least. We go out and her twin best friends who go to Oregon State were in town celebrating for her birthday as well. And they are part of a sorority, so they are very familiar with the party life, with the frat life. So I had not realized that nightlife in college starts at like midnight. In high school, once in a blue moon, when I would go out, the party would start like 8:30. So I was getting tired at the pregame. I was like, whoa, I really just need to lock in. So I go to the market that's like downstairs. Okay, I know I look crazy right now, stop. And I get an energy drink. I'm not usually allowed to drink energy drinks because, well, this is me uncaffeinated, so I didn't know which one to get, and I just grabbed the C4 one because it was like Skittles or something, and I was like, this looks sweet. I like sweet, so let me just take this. Biggest mistake of my entire life. I drank the energy drink. I'm literally bouncing off the walls, and we start pre-gaming. And I also had never pre-gamed before. I didn't know what was happening. At first I was like, okay, let me just like pre-game just a little so that I'm not like nervous going up to the frats and stuff, because I was really nervous because all these people are in college and I'm a junior in high school. I'm a complete lightweight. So I am no longer pre-gamed and I am at the party, if you know what I mean. So I'm at the party, everybody else is still pre-gaming. We start walking to the actual party. And I am like, whoa. Am I the one that's feeling like this? She remembers. Anyways. I forget. Yeah. I'm surprised you remember. We are meeting with other people on the walk and they have stuff and so we pre-game with them. Okay, I guess I'm just naming this activity pre-gaming. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I'm just trying to keep up with everybody. We arrive at the actual frat and I don't know if I can say the name of the frat because I was 15 and a junior at the time. So I lose my sister. This guy who I know from my high school is like, wait a minute, you're in high school. He starts screaming that she's in high school. And this is when having a twin really comes in handy. I was like, no, like, I'm Alana. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought you were Sayla, like, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, the fuck, like, hello. Suddenly I feel a little rumble in my belly. Not the kind you get when you're hungry. The twins direct me upstairs to the bathroom. You can guess what happens there. Let's just say I didn't go number 2 or number 1. I went number 3. If number 3, we mean yak. So I was just Miss Yakety Yak in the bathroom. And then I'm like, wait, okay, I feel amazing. Okay, let's keep going. What? I was like, yeah, let's do it. Kept pre-gaming. Finally make it out of the frat. It felt like literally escape the frat obby in Roblox because what was that? We are all famished, so we start walking to Dave's Hot Chicken because that's like the only thing that's open in Eugene until like past 2 a.m. It was like 3 a.m. at this point, and I was just Miss Yakety Yak the whole way to Dave's. Okay, wait, this looking might have to be a part 1 and 2. Go to part 2.